Everybody keeps asking the same question. How is Quando Rondo still alive? From assassination attempts?
It all started at this mobile gas station at 5:30 Friday evening. LAPD says witnesses heard multiple gunshots, then watched a couple cars zoom off. 3 people in one car shot at this black Cadillac Escalade. It's unclear if those inside shot back.
To driving while under the influence and crashing his car.
According to the motion filed, Bowman was seen driving at a high rate of speed before crashing into another vehicle. Goes on to say EMS had to administer Narcan to Bowman because he was showing signs of an overdose.
For the last 5 years, he's been one of the most hunted names in rap, with a huge target on his back. And every time people swear he's gone, he manages to make it out alive. So this video isn't about rumors or fan theories, it's about every real moment death came close. How one night turned his name into a permanent target. And why, against all odds, Quando Rondo is still here. Quando Rondo's real name is Taekwon Bowman. He was born on March 23, 1999 and raised in Savannah, Georgia. He's spoken openly in interviews about growing up in an unstable environment surrounded by poverty and crime from a very young age. During most of his childhood, his father was incarcerated and his mother struggled with addiction, which meant there wasn't much supervision at home. Because of that, he spent a lot of time in the streets and moved in and out of different living situations, including spending time with other family members like his grandmother. School didn't last long for him. According to multiple interviews, Quando Rondo dropped out around the 6th grade. By his early teens, he was already in trouble with the juvenile justice system and would spend years going in and out of juvenile detention centers. It was during that time, while he was locked up, that he really started taking music seriously. He said that rapping became a way to pass time and express what he was dealing with. Battling and freestyling in detention helped him sharpen his style long before he ever recorded professionally. Music had always been around him growing up. He cited artists like Chief Keef, Rich Homie Quan, and Young Thug as early influences, and you can hear that mix of melody and street realism in his sound today. The name Quando came from a childhood nickname, and he added Rondo later because he liked how it sounded. After being released from juvenile detention for the last time in October 2017, he made a decision to focus fully on music. Within months, his songs started gaining traction online, leading to viral attention and eventually a deal connected to NBA YoungBoy's Never Broke Again label. Most notably, the video he posted rapping his song, I Remember.
Late nights on my avenue by myself, I ain't need a gang member, nigga, I remember. I ain't had no money on my books this time, last year around September, nigga, I remember. 12 drop behind me, I'ma do the dash real fast, no surrender, nigga, I remember. Nigga, I remember, I remember. Nigga, I remember, I remember.
By the time Quando Rondo reached fame, he wasn't walking into the industry naive. He came up in environments where beef didn't get talked out, it got handled in the streets. That mindset didn't disappear once the fame came, and that's where King Von comes into play. By 2020, King Von was one of the fastest rising rappers out of Chicago, closely tied to Lil Durk and OTF. He had street credibility, momentum, and a reputation that followed him everywhere he went. Before November 2020, tension already existed in the background, and it all stemmed from the head of the label, NBA YoungBoy. YoungBoy and King Von's beef went public in August of 2020, after it was rumored that Von slept with the mother of YoungBoy's child, Jania Meshel. So when Quando Rondo, a known NBA YoungBoy affiliate, crossed paths with King Von in Atlanta, things got deadly. On the night of November 6, 2020, outside the Monaco Hookah Lounge, both groups crossed paths. According to police reports and surveillance footage later reviewed by investigators, a confrontation broke out almost immediately. Words were exchanged, the situation turned physical. Within seconds, it escalated. Gunfire erupted. Multiple people were shot. King Von was hit and later pronounced dead at the hospital. There's no official finding if this was a planned hit by NBA YoungBoy documented in police reports. What is clear is how fast it went from a street argument to a deadly scene. After the shooting, Timothy Leaks, aka Lil Tim, a member of Quando Rondo's crew, was arrested and charged in connection with King Von's death. But that case later collapsed and the charges were dismissed. Legally, that's where it stops. But outside the courtroom, that night never ended. Because from that moment on, Quando Rondo wasn't just another rapper who survived a violent situation. In the eyes of the public, and according to later federal allegations, he became a target. And what happened in Atlanta wasn't finished yet. Soon after the incident, some of Quando Rondo's scheduled performances were cancelled. For example, a show that had been planned for late November 2020 in Brunswick, Georgia was cancelled by the venue. The organizers cited concerns over his legal situation, though specific legal reasons weren't detailed publicly. The cancellation happened in the context of fans because of the shooting that killed Von, and venues acting cautiously amid Von's death. Immediately after Von's death, Quando Rondo didn't stay silent. He dropped a track called End of Story just weeks after the incident, airing out everything that happened in his own perspective. He would get real disrespectful with lines like, "Blood on your brother on the ground, go pick your mans up." Quando did, however, point out something very interesting when he said, if the shoe was on the other foot, they wouldn't have said he wrong. What he meant was that if King Von were to kill him that night, the public might not have blamed Von the way that they blamed Quando and Lil Tim. Quando had a good point here, but his public disrespect of Von wasn't helping. Being seen in videos pretending to smoke on King Von, even laying on the ground pretending to die like Von did, repeatedly saying all he smokes is dead ops.
Okay. I smoke. Man, I got I smoke. Yeah! Get him out of here! Get his ass out of here! Okay.
Then again, King Von allegedly killed several people and did the exact same thing to his dead ops. So was this Quando Rondo being disrespectful, or Von's karma finally catching up? A few months later, on May 2nd, 2021, the violence continued. In the early morning hours, around 3:20 a.m., Quando Rondo and members of his entourage were at a convenience store parking lot in Blackshear, Georgia, where gunshots were fired. According to law enforcement information reported by TMZ and other major outlets, investigators believe the gunfire came from across the road or possibly from the nearby highway rather than from close range.
Oh my God, it is Quando, y'all. It's got to be. Oh my God. That shit crazy as fuck. Y'all, it's got to be Quando.
Quando was not hit, but one person traveling with him was shot in the hand and transported to a hospital for treatment. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation opened an inquiry into the incident, which occurred shortly after Quando Rondo had finished performing at a nightclub in the area. People were quick to connect Lil Durk to this shooting as retaliation for King Von. The May 2021 shooting in Georgia made one thing clear: the danger around Quando Rondo wasn't going anywhere, and if anything, it followed him. By the summer of 2022, that pattern reached its most serious point. On August 19th, 2022, Quando Rondo was in Los Angeles, stopped at a gas station with members of his entourage, when a vehicle pulled up and shots were fired. According to police and reporting from multiple outlets, the attack happened suddenly, leaving little time to react. Quando Rondo was not struck by the gunfire. His cousin and close friend, Savia Robinson, aka Lil Pob, was unfortunately shot and killed. Law enforcement described the incident as an apparent ambush, and surveillance footage later showed the aftermath as first responders arrived at the scene.
New details tonight in a deadly shooting near the Beverly Center. We've learned the victim is a friend of rapper Quando Rondo. The Atlanta-based performer shared this picture on Instagram today. According to the LAPD, the victim was ambushed by 3 men while getting gas on Friday. Video from the scene appears to show Quando Rondo distraught while first responders moved the body. So far, no arrests have been made.
At the time, no official public statement directly tied the shooting to Lil Durk, but the timing itself was suspicious. What started as online tension and industry fallout years earlier turned into a deadly moment where Quando Rondo survived, but someone close to him did not. While Quando Rondo had escaped death multiple times at this point, his legal troubles were getting worse. Another life-threatening situation played out. In July 2023, weeks after being released on bond in an ongoing gang and drug case, Quando Rondo was involved in a car crash in Chatham County, Georgia. According to court records, he was seen traveling at a high rate of speed before crashing into another vehicle. Responders at the scene administered Narcan, a medication used to reverse opioid overdoses. Because he was showing signs consistent with an overdose, at the time. The next year, on February 6, 2024, Quando Rondo was arrested and charged in Georgia with driving under the influence of drugs and reckless driving in connection with that July incident. He was booked at his hometown of Savannah under his real name Taekwon Terrell Bowman and later released on a $4,600 bond. While Quando Rondo was battling legal troubles, his biggest op, Lil Durk, would find himself behind bars. In October 2024, Lil Durk was arrested by federal authorities and charged in connection with an alleged murder-for-hire conspiracy tied to the August 2022 shooting at the Los Angeles gas station that left Quando Rondo's cousin, Lil Pop, dead. According to a federal indictment unsealed in late 2024, prosecutors allege that Durk conspired with multiple associates to arrange for the August 2022 ambush against Quando Rondo. The complaint states that Durk paid 5 men to travel from Chicago to California with the intent to kill Quando Rondo, and that the trip included planning, vehicles, weapons, and coordination, ultimately resulting in Lil Pop's death when none of the intended bullets struck Quando Rondo. Durk was taken into custody in Broward County, Florida by U.S. Marshals and then transferred to Los Angeles to face the federal charges. He has since pleaded not guilty and, as of the latest reports, remains detained without bond while awaiting trial. Authorities allege the motive for the conspiracy was retaliation for the November 2020 killing of King Von, a close friend and collaborator of Durk, who was shot and killed after an altercation with members of Quando Rondo's entourage. After his arrest, a superseding indictment added additional conspiracy and weapons charges and identified several co-defendants, including members of Lil Durk's Only the Family collective, charged with participating in the plot. Durk's legal team has challenged aspects of the case in court, and his trial schedule has shifted as proceedings continue, but the core allegation remains that he played a role in planning an attempt to kill Quando Rondo that instead took the life of someone close to him. Some of Lil Durk's song lyrics would end up in the case being used against him. One of the most widely reported songs connected to Lil Durk's legal case is Wonderful Wayne and Jackie Boy, a track by Babyface Ray featuring Lil Durk, released in 2022. According to federal prosecutors, the lyrics include a section that allegedly references violent events tied to the shooting that killed Quando Rondo's cousin, Lil Pop. Prosecutors described the verse as seeming to reference a news clip in which Quando Rondo is heard screaming after seeing Lil Pop's body. "Look on the news and see your son, you screaming no, no," the complaint alleges. Lil Durk's attorneys have pushed back, saying the song was recorded months before the shooting and that the version prosecutors quote does not reflect Lil Durk's direct involvement. So for the people who keep asking why Quando Rondo isn't dead, the better question is how many times he was close. Since 2020, his name has appeared in police reports across multiple states. In each case, gunfire happened around him, someone else was hit, and he walked away alive. After the Vaughn incident, bookings dried up. After Georgia, security tightened. After Los Angeles, someone close to him was dead. And eventually, what people labeled as rat beef became part of federal case filings, not only for Durk, but for Quando as well. Today, Quando Rondo isn't on the run. He's in federal custody, serving a sentence on a drug case, alive and breathing. Quando Rondo's near-death experiences are all attributed to the simple fact that he is just a troubled kid who got caught up in the wrong situations and simply had to defend himself. One thing we know for certain is that luck is the only thing keeping him alive.